Hi, everybody. I'm Amber if you're new here, and if not, welcome back. Today, we're actually talking about the interview that GQ just did with Jay Z. Now, I have a positive and a negative takeaway from this. I do want to focus on both, though. I can't pick sides in this one. I have reasons I'm for and against what he had to say, and I do want to dive into them because this surrounds the Kendrick and Drake beef, but also just battle rap in general as part of the culture. I want to say right out the gate, as I say every time this topic comes up, this is a culture that I'm a guest in and will never forget that. Now, you need to listen to what he says, and then we're going to evaluate it because I'm not. Let's just get right into it.
We have got to the point where literally anybody can build a fully working app without knowing how to code. This is Base 44.
I'm doing it.
That you didn't know,
It's happening for you.
you in a broader sense. Do you feel like that makes you a target?
What do you need?
Yeah. Kind of real sit downs, what own creative spark.
The new album was, like, I sound like the old talking about it. Not like that's dead. Graffiti,
Yeah.
beautiful. In certain places.
Yeah.
And even in major art and Keith Haring is not part of hip hop.
Mm-hmm.
And the Fresh Pay for half
Top.
excitement. But I don't exist, DJ. I have no idea. Okay.
Couldn't tell you off top.
That no longer exists. And the last pillar is battling. We love the excitement. And I love the sparring and the music you get.
Mm-hmm.
But in this day and age, it's so much negative stuff that comes with it that you almost wish it didn't happen.
Really?
Yeah, because it's almost like it's a final thing. Now people that like Kendrick hate Drake.
Yeah.
No matter what he makes, no matter what he says, and it goes far too. It's like,
Now, I do want to say that, and that's not even me picking sides between Kendrick and Drake. I do want to say that there is a difference, and I actually think that Screwface John was very clear about stan culture over the last year or so, from actually maybe even 2 years if you include the Kendrick Drake beef as well as Screw and Knox's beef, because that played a bit of a huge role too. But there is a stan culture which is different than a fan culture. Okay, a fan and a stan are not the same thing. And I've never truly understood people who proudly say they are a stan of something, because even if you're a diehard Eminem fan, you should know that the purpose of the term stan is not a good one. And that's right from Eminem's mouth. You don't want to be a stan. That song does not exist to glorify the idea of being a stan. You can be a diehard fan. The line you cross is when the person you're a diehard fan of becomes your entire personality. Your profile pictures, your every conversation you have, everything you talk about, you eat, sleep, and breathe, when your entire personality is replaced by this human that you are standing, you have ascended past fan to an unhealthy level. Okay. And the reason why I'm bringing that up right now is because no matter where you landed in the Kendrick and Drake beef at the time, it got out of hand. And I don't just mean like, oh, Kendrick made Beat the Grams and it went off the board, or Drake mentioned Whitney. No, that's not what I'm talking about. I'm talking about Drake's house got shot up. One of his bodyguards was injured. And that you're not sympathetic for Drake? Okay. Rihanna's house got shot up. What did Rihanna do? What did Rihanna do that justified her house being shot? You're shooting up the house of an R&B singer, a female one at that. I don't really understand what people don't understand about this. It does not make sense to me. And that's actually something that Kendrick kind of talked about in I think it was Metagrams. He said that this is supposed to be a good exhibition in rap, but you messed up the moment you said my family's name. Yeah, it was Metagrams. That is when they started to get a little too personal and the battle started to get a little uncomfortable. There was a vibe of like Kendrick's becoming literally the boogeyman because Drake stepped out of line when he started talking about Whitney and who Kendrick's kids really belong to, so on and so forth. But that's what Jay-Z's kind of talking about, is that social media has made that worse. Social media is a lot of the reason for that. Everything pumped to you, everything thrown in your face, the constant need for there to be A versus B, red versus blue, you know, it people were literally like attacking their character. It went beyond what they were saying in records. It went beyond who was better and who lost, who won. It got to the point where it was like every time the person that you thought lost took a breath, you needed to make them feel like they shouldn't be alive for it. That is a level way beyond where battle rap belongs. That is a level way beyond where music in general belongs. And that is where the problem is, in my opinion.
Like attack on his character and his thing and it's like, I don't know if I love that.
Yeah.
I don't know if it's helpful to our growth. Where the fallout lands, especially on on social media, which takes place every day.
Yeah.
And now you have these pods of cult.
The Stan armies fighting.
Yeah, and it's like, it's too far.
Yeah.
It's like bringing people kids in it.
Yeah.
And it's like, I don't like that. You know, maybe I've grown in a space that is probably, I sound like the old guy wagging the finger. But I think we can achieve the same thing as far as like sparring with music.
I want to say something on that real quick. I don't believe in ageism. I think ageism is one of the biggest waste of just human energy. I don't think that, and I could be hypocritical in a bit, in a way, because like you go back to when like Eminem was dissing Everlast, and it was like, or even when they were dissing Limp Bizkit and Fred Durst, it was nobody wants to hear the grandpa rap, nobody wants to hear some old fart in a chair, but M's in his 50s rapping. So like I get that. I get if that's the ace in the hole you're gonna pull out on me, just don't bother. But I do think that we have this view that like, it's like the moment you hit like 24, people are like, you're still rapping? And they inflict it on themselves a little bit too, because like even after the Carter 3, Wayne is in interviews talking about, I want to start looking at what's next for me. I don't really want to be rapping in my 30s. Now look at them. We're up to the Carter 6. We're up to Sorry for the Wait 2, Dedication 6 and Reloaded. You know what I mean? It just like, he's still killing it, because there's no reason age should have anything to do with that. So when he says something like that, like maybe it's just me getting old, I think that the perspective you want to take from that is not that he's getting old, that he's maturing in the way he's viewing things and the experiences he's had. Like, because this is a guy, Jay-Z and Nas went toe to toe. It's not like he's a stranger to battle rap or beef. But his perspective towards the value of it, possibly the danger of it, but also, is it worth it? If you're listening to what he's saying, he's not just saying, should we battle, should we not battle? He's saying, what is it worth me going toe to toe with somebody if on the other end, I'm going to put my kids at risk, my house might get shot up over a rap battle, my entire character is going to be questioned for the rest of my time on this planet. That's what he's speaking to.
With collaborations more so than breaking the whole thing apart.
Yeah.
It could stand it before because there was no social media and there was no thing, and you know, you had the battle and it was fun and then you moved on.
Right.
Right now, I don't know if it could stand it with the technology that we have.
Because it takes up so much oxygen.
It takes up so much oxygen.
Yeah.
And now it's just like every day they're just trying
Like they're
to
still talking about it.
It's not just talking about it. Not like, yo, this song I like this.
Yeah.
No, it's like trying to tear down the people's life.
Yeah, yeah.
It's like trying to, you know, wreck this guy's marriage or this guy's relationship with his child. And it's like, I don't know, man. I don't know if it's worth it at this point.
Yeah.
I don't know.
That's interesting.
Again, I love the idea that we got so much music in such a short period of time.
Great music.
Just everything around it was just like, man, it's like taking us a couple steps back.
Yeah.
And I know that there's a wide age group that takes in rap and hip hop and music in general. Obviously, we exist across all ages, even in my channel, which by the way is not a place for ageism. It won't happen on my channel. So no matter how old you are or whatever, you know, just don't feel like I'm ever gonna single you out or look at you any different. Your opinion matters just the same and you're just as welcome here. But like, I do think there's a certain level of this doesn't happen all the time in music. There's beef, but there's not this. There's not always Nas and Jay-Z, a Biggie, Tupac, Kendrick and Drake, an Easy versus all of NWA. You know what I mean? There's not an Eminem versus 40,000 different freaking people. So what you grew up with might play a role in it. I do know a lot of people that are vocal in the social media world, not saying they're all young, but they grew up with social media in a way that, you know, people older than me maybe didn't. So a lot of the opinions you might be hearing are the people who Drake and Kendrick are the first real legitimate heated rap beef they've ever lived through. As a historic thing in hip hop, whereas, you know, it's not a new concept. Like if you talk about battle rap's place in hip hop, you know what I mean? Like the, you can go all the way back to the Beef DVD, or if you watch Smack, you know, Immaculate Swans, Gins, Iron Solomons, T-Shirt, Dumbfounded, Eminem, Juice, all these people, Juice, who actually beat Eminem, and that was something that Eminem's touched on before, but they, like, this is not something that was brought into the culture anytime recently. This is something that has been embedded in it and an integral part of it. I grew up battle rapping. I did my first battle at 14, 2 years after I made my first song. I used to skip classes to battle rap. I got my ass beat for things I said in battle raps, for beating people or for losing and people just wanted to celebrate. Or you say the wrong thing sometimes. It's not, hip hop is a sport and it's competitive, but what it means to people and to the art form and to the culture is more than just, hey, should we do away with this because it's getting out of hand? No, we need to remember how to do it right, to do it properly. We need to not shoot up Rihanna's house over a rap beef. We need to, you know what I mean? Like, it doesn't need to go away, but it needs to be addressed.
And we just grown so much that I don't know if, I guess I'm gonna say it, I don't know if battling needs to be part of the culture anymore.
Interesting.
I hate that I have this point of view. I do, because I know I know what it sounds like. I know what it feels like. I hate it. It's just how I feel about
Well,
it.
it even kind of extended to you, right? Because people made it a personal thing that you chose Kendrick for the Super Bowl. It's like, oh man, he's choosing the side and he's and he's not.
Like I don't have, what do I have to do with that? I chose the guy that was having a monster year. I think it was the right choice.
Word.
It wasn't in some sort of alliance to a battle. I don't.
Yeah.
What I care about them two guys battling, like, what's that got to do with me?
Word.
Have at it.
That kind of goes back to the stan culture, though, where a lot of people didn't say that because of the reasons Jay-Z is laying out, though. A lot of people did say it should be Kendrick specifically just because of how they feel about Drake. And I want to be clear. I think Kendrick was the right choice. But I'm not saying that like it's Kendrick because Drake. He had a monster year, like Jay-Z just said. You capitalize on that, and you also reward what he did. Like he won that beef, he won that battle, he made a huge statement. He skyrocketed the GNX album because of what happened. And it's like the icing on the cake and the trophy at the end of the race. You know what I mean? He earned that. He deserved it. And I could go on for another 15 minutes if we talk about, where Lil Wayne stood on that, because it hurt him because it was in New Orleans and he felt snubbed by it. Whacked out murals. Irony, I think my hard work let Lil Wayne down. But it's just, what I don't agree with is what I touched on and what he just said, that I don't know if it needs to be part of hip hop anymore. Jay-Z, again, guest in hip hop. I get that. Guest, that's an insane statement. That is an insane statement. But I do respect what you're saying because of all the reasons you're laying out for it to be. I will never think it's the answer to just get rid of it. I just think it needs to be addressed. And like everything else, it needs to be kept in check and done properly. Otherwise, it's not just unsafe, it's disrespectful to the sport, to the art form, to the culture. It's not respecting what it is. You know what I mean? But if you want to go watch the full interview, right here, exclusive Jay-Z breaks his silence. We played enough defense. 2026 is about offense. It was on GQ. I recommend watching the whole thing in full. He talks about a lot more than this, forming an opinion for yourself. But I just need to get on here and say that. One, because I was raised to understand what it means to the culture. So when I heard him specifically say it needs to possibly go away, we didn't really say that. Sorry. He said, I don't know if it needs to be part of it. That sat wrong with me. And also as a person who grew up battle rapping and I still will come outside. It didn't sit with me. It didn't resonate with me. And I wanted to say my piece on it for the people who care to hear it, and the people who don't are going to skip by the video anyway. So thank you guys so much. And I will see you in the next one.